All right. What's happening? It's been a while. We've been busy with work. So I hope the holiday season is upon us. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year coming up. So topics for today, we're going to talk about a little LSU, like always. It's little Saints and a little fishing. First off, let's go ahead and let's dive on into some LSU football. Got a bowl game coming up on New Year's, playing in the Citrus Bowl against Notre Dame. Should be a pretty good game. I don't know a whole lot about Notre Dame this year. I know I'm tired of playing them in bowl games. I really think they could have found a better matchup. But anyway, that's the team they chose to play, so that's the team we're going to play. So, I don't know a whole lot about the Irish. I know the Tigers are going to be down Arden Key. That's already been said that Key's not going to play. I believe Beckwith is going to have another surgery, so he's going to be out. Geis will play. So that's a bonus for the offense. I know Notre Dame is supposedly one of the better rushing teams in the nation this year. So we'll see how our depleted defensive line holds up against that rush attack. Anyway, I mean, bowl games, whatnot, whatever. Everybody says bowl games don't count. The only ones that count are the semifinals and the national championship. Well, in a way they're right, but in a way, they, you get an extra couple weeks of practice. That's a big bonus for a lot of the younger players on the team to get that extra practice. Gives the coaches a chance to give them some reps. So, I'm hoping that Coach O and his staff are taking advantage of that and giving the younger guys some reps. And I hope that some of the younger guys get some playing time in the bowl game. Now, do I want to win the bowl game? Obviously, yes. I think that would help recruiting as well. And then speaking of recruiting, we just had the early signing period, which I believe is awesome. I believe it's going to help college football. You're not going to have, at the end of the season, you're not going to have all these players anymore that, thought they were going to get scholarships, and teams like Alabama, over recruit. So then they got to withdraw scholarships from players. It's going to. I think it's going to take a lot of the dirtiness of recruiting out of the recruiting process. It's going to give guys a chance to go ahead and commit, and then coaches, the kids can relax and focus on graduating, and then just showing up for spring ball if they're eligible for that, or. And then the coaches can relax. Well, not really relax, because they still got some recruiting to do. They still have the regular recruiting period. But if some of their bigger targets, commit during this early signing period, it'll help. They'll be able to relax a little bit and then focus on other aspects of the team that may need attention. Like as far as LSU, the well-known coaching staff positions that definitely need to be addressed, as far as a special teams coordinator and a quarterbacks coach. So I believe that that'll all help. Plus, and then and the bowl game will help all of that. Well, I mean, not the coaching staff stuff, but it'll help. It will definitely help with the recruiting aspect. Even though the early signing period comes before LSU plays, it will still help maybe if there's that one 4 or 5 star guy left out there that is maybe not has maybe not chosen a team that he wants to go to yet, it will allow him to see the Tigers in action, see how the coaches handle bowl game preparations and handle postseason. It also lets them know that, hey, our team is still relevant. It wasn't the greatest season that obviously that LSU's ever had, but it's still a bowl season. 9 wins, going to go for 10. We, that's a good season. I mean, a lot of schools, would give up a lot for a season like that. So, it'll help. Okay, let's I've been kind of out of the loop, so we're going to kind of move on. We want to talk a little bit of Saints. From what I've seen, that that's the obviously since college football's entering that bowl time. You see a lot of more NFL on TV now, so that's just kind of the time period where I start to pay attention more to the NFL. And with our hometown Saints, clinching a playoff berth this past weekend with a big win over the Falcons, and still have a really good shot at winning. Well, they're sitting atop the NFC South right now, tied with Carolina, which we hold the tiebreaker. So, that's huge. Maybe the Saints can go ahead and lock up the NFC South. Maybe get a first round bye. I don't know exactly who's up for the first round byes right now, but I would have to believe the Saints will be up there for in the running for one of those. I believe the only team in the NFC with a better record than them is Philadelphia, maybe Minnesota. So that would be great. Give them a chance to get going to the playoffs. Get healthy. And then let's see if we can make it to Minnesota for the Super Bowl, which would be amazing. And then that's speaking of that, I think the Saints have a really good shot at making a good run in the playoffs. Maybe making it to Minnesota. This team, it's a little different than the last few years. It reminds me a lot more of the 2009 team that won the Super Bowl because they have a running game now. I say now again. And that's I'm going to attribute a lot of that to Alvin Kamara. That dude's just a beast. They're just running the ball all over people right now. Ingram's running the ball good too. But I think a lot of Ingram stuff is set up by Kamara being the playmaker that he is. That dude's just unreal. And we saw a couple weeks ago with the game against Atlanta where Kamara was out with a concussion and he didn't play. The offense didn't perform as well. They didn't run the ball as well. So, a lot of that is, I believe a lot of that is set up by Kamara. If he doesn't win Rookie of the Year, I don't know what's going on. So, I think that if the Saints can just hitch their wagon to Kamara and Ingram and let Drew be Drew, they're going to have a really good shot at not only making it to the Super Bowl again, but maybe winning it. I don't know. Obviously the AFC, you've got the Patriots. The Patriots are always going to be there. And I really don't know any other teams out of the AFC that are all that good. I'm not saying there's not. I just, well, I mean, obviously you got the Steelers, but I just, I hadn't heard a whole lot. You don't see a whole lot. I don't believe that there's anybody in the AFC that has a record like the teams in the NFC. So, I think the Saints got a really good shot. So, just hook up, hitch your wagon to Kamar and Ingram, and let them pull you to Minnesota there, New Orleans, and Drew can stay healthy and spread the ball around in the passing game like he has and not turn it over. Then, could be number 2 for the city of New Orleans. All right, so now let's talk a little more about some fishing. I know that's what everybody wants to hear. It's cold outside, it's rainy, but it hasn't been that cold of a winter yet. The fishing's slow, but they can still be caught. I know people that are still catching big bags of fish. As a matter of fact, I went a couple weeks ago, and I didn't catch a huge bag. Matter of fact, I only caught a few keepers, but I caught, within an hour span, probably caught 6 or 7 fish on one spot, and so that and they weren't super deep. They were in about 15 foot of water, just dragging a Carolina rig, and they were just hammering it. So we only had a couple little cold fronts come through. The one with the snowstorm, then the one right here just after Christmas. So the water hasn't really cooled down all that much. So the fish have stayed fairly active. I'm sure this last couple little cold front's gonna slow them. It's gonna slow the bite down a little bit. But if it doesn't get super super cold, we're looking at another early spawn again this year. So kind of looking forward to that. We're looking early mid-February, the bite being outstanding again. So, I can't wait for that. Gonna get I'll be spending every free minute I have up at the lake trying to catch some of the big double digits. Have some buddies from Louisiana come up and, do that thing and take some people bass fishing. So just can't wait for the springtime to get here. Gonna try some more tournaments this year. If I can get them to fall on my days off, and see what we can do. I've been working on some sponsorships. We've got the carrot stick sponsorship, and then we've got the Amphibia Eyewear and Rageous. So little about carrot stick. Great rods, light. I love them. I've been with carrot stick now for 2 years, and they're just they're tough rods. I have not broken any of them. Well, actually, I take it back. I broke one, but that was I think that was just kind of a fluke deal. They have a real good feel to them. They're light, with the carbon fiber rods, and that they have a rod for everything. Just you should check them out, and that's www.carrotstick.com, and I'll have the web address in the description. Also, there's Amphibia Eyewear.